Everyone, this is Boardgame Brody with Meeple Mountain. I was sent a fresh copy of Grimm Masquerade by Skybound Games to check out. Grimm Masquerade is a deduction game with the use of bluffing combined with a strategy game that uses set collection of certain cards to be declared the winner. Players are all invited to the Castle of the Beast, but when entering, you are transformed into another character. You will be trying to hide your own identity from other players while discovering and unmasking the identity of all other players. During the game, you will win roses for unmasking other players or winning the round, and the game plays for 3 rounds, or if a player ever gets 10 roses by the end of any round. To win, you will need to collect 3 of your character's boon artifacts, but you will need to be careful when doing this, as players can unmask you by giving you 2 of your bane artifacts, or by taking the point the finger action. Again, you will want to check your character's card that is randomly dealt out to each player, and you will want to collect the boon artifacts and try to avoid the bane artifacts as much as you can. Once you have 2 bane artifacts for your character, you will be unmasked. On your turn, you will draw a card from the artifact deck, and you can either keep it to add to your own collection or give it to another player. A second card is then drawn, and whatever you decided for the first card, the opposite will occur with the second card. This way, each turn you will add 1 card to your collection, and you will add 1 card to another player's collection. If at any time a player has 2 of the same card, information will need to be revealed. First, if these 2 artifacts match the player's bane artifact, they are unmasked, and the player who gave the player the second artifact gains 1 rose. If you happen to draw your own bane artifact yourself, then no one gains the rose and you will still be unmasked. But if these artifacts are not the player's bane artifact, then they will place their color evidence marker on the character who has those listed as their bane artifact. This evidence marker is letting everyone know that they are not that character. After drawing and distributing the artifacts, a player can choose to discard a pair of artifact cards from their collection to perform an action. Actions are changed each round except for the point the finger action, which stays out there always. When you choose the point the finger action, you will guess the identity of another player, and if you are correct, that player is unmasked, and you gain 2 roses. If you were wrong, then that accused player will gain 1 rose instead. Whenever a player is unmasked during the game, they are not completely out. When it's their turn, they will draw 1 artifact card and add it to their collection, and then they will give 1 artifact of their choice to any player not yet unmasked, in hopes that they can unmask them by adding a bane artifact, totaling to 2. If they do unmask them in this way, then they gain 1 rose point. The game continues with players taking turns until there is only 1 unmasked player, or when a player collects 3 of their boon artifacts. This player will gain the Rose Trophy for that round. Rose Trophies will get better and better as the rounds progress. 1 for the first round, 3 for the second, and 5 for the third. The board is then reset and players will count their rose points at the end of round 3 to find who is the winner, or if a player magically gains 10 points before the third round begins. The game is so simple when it's explained to you, yet there are so many hard choices to make when playing, and for that reason, this game is amazing. Let me explain some of the hard choices. When choosing to take the first or the second artifact card, you're trying to find your boon. But be careful, because if you give another player the first card, then you are stuck with the second card no matter what, and at times you could be stuck with your bane artifact. Also, when giving someone a card that would make a pair for them, it might unmask them or give you information on one character that they are not, but you just gave them a pair on their turn and they can exchange that pair to take an action. Now, if they see you always wanting those glass slippers, they can point the finger and guess your character. You are Cinderella! Even when starting the round, each player will draft a card from a drawn number of cards totaling the number of players plus 2. This can give players a lot of information from what's available and what each player chooses. Do you take your boon artifact? Or do you bluff and take a different card hoping that they give you some of your own boon artifacts during the game? Hard choices. I love the board, as many other deduction games miss out on this visual. This isn't a memory game. All the information can be shared on the board, and you can make your own hypotheses on who each player is, and test it out by handing them their Bane artifact. If you were correct, then you will unmask them and gain a rose. If not, then no harm done, except that you give them an extra card. The visual of showing all possible character choices and placing tokens on each character ruled out for each player is just perfect for visual people like myself. In fact, I think that's why I do video reviews. I like how the action cards change each round, as it keeps the important aspects of the game intact, but just gives a little bit more variety. And if you like variety, they also have wager cards that can be added. If you end up with a wager card of the character who wins, you will win as well. Treasure cards can be added for extra bluffing, as it will count as an artifact card to be discarded for actions. You can then discard your Bane, or bluff as if you were discarding your Bane, making it easier to not be unmasked. Lastly, special abilities can be added to change strategies and add some more possibilities to the game. So the game of Clue was one of the first widely popular game that uses deduction as its gameplay, and many of us know that it has a lovely deduction part of the game, but some of the other aspects aren't as so great. If I could see this game be just as popular, I would be so happy, and everyone else playing the games would also be happy because it keeps the lovely deduction intact that everyone likes, but adds those other elements into the game so the entire game is fantastic. In fact, if you know anyone who likes Clue, just give them this game. The holidays are coming, and it would be a perfect gift. I know this might not technically be a party game, but these are the type of party games that I love to play. The game plays up to 5 players, and I wish it could play more, but I'm sure there would be a way to increase characters invited to the masquerade, and somehow make it so characters wouldn't be unmasked without even taking a turn. But I played this game with my family and others at Thanksgiving, and we absolutely had a blast. Again, this is Grimm Masquerade by Droid City Games and Skybound Games. Add it to your wish list. Do you want to build a house out of brick, wood, or straw? Wood? Do you want to build a house out of brick, wood, or straw?
Brick.
Why?
Because I don't want the big bad wolf to blow my house down.
Good reason. This is Boardgame Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.